And here I am. My camera looks good though. I gotta say, my camera looks good. I'm not gonna be on here long. And the reason I even went live instead of recording a video, a couple reasons. One, I didn't feel like setting up my tripod. I don't really have space for the legs to come out. And I just, that's probably the main reason. And I think I just want to, get some things off my chest. So, what's good? Welcome to Vanlife Style YouTube channel. So for anyone that may watch this in the replay or even may come in here while it's live, who is familiar with my channel over the years, may remember hearing me say quite a few times that my biggest focus is on building an actual business. Most of my adult life has been spent between self-employment, W-2 employment, self-employment, W-2 employment. And from 2017, just before becoming a full-time mobile dweller, I dove headfirst into really learning how to go from being self-employed to an actual business owner. I was really, really, really tired of buying myself a job. And once I truly figured out that self-employment and business owner, actually owning a company, are vastly different, that was my goal, to become a business owner. And so I've learned a lot. I've studied a lot. I've studied from those business owner, entrepreneurs, multimillionaires who are where I aspire to be. So I just recently launched my holding company and then the working brand, the DBA as it's called, under that. And so I want to discuss the major things that I've done differently this go round. And I'm going to give a little bit of context and backstory to it. So when I first uprooted my life and moved from Minnesota to Arizona, left at the time I was a independent hairstylist, left all my clients, uprooted my business, moved to Arizona. And 1 week after getting to Arizona, shout out to you, Love Gabhorn, Love Gabe Horn. Is that it? What's up? So exactly 1 week after getting to Arizona, I ended up seeing a entrepreneur seminar hosted by Damon John, the founder of FUBU, for anybody who doesn't know. So I went to that. I was like, this was meant for me. I went to that and he wasn't there, but of course, he had his people there. And so this was December 1st, 2016, December 7, 2016. And when it was all over, I got to ask the guy who was hosting it, Tim is his name. I got to ask him a question. And he told me not to open one entity. Now, I'm going to tell you, I didn't understand what he was saying at the time, but I kept it, right? I kept it back here. So he said, you know how when businesses, they get sued, if a company gets sued, they throw away that box, and by the time they go to court, they're like, that box doesn't even exist anymore. And he said that's because they don't just have one entity. He said, so make sure you open two entities. Again, I did not get it. So then I went on. When I first moved to LA, again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew that I am determined to become a business owner. I'm determined. I'm determined to stop buying myself a job and being self employed. So I got an LLC. I went through ZenBiz, right? I paid ZenBiz, got an LLC. I didn't even know what the hell. I really didn't. I did it under my um, creative nomad brand name because I crochet, I'm into fashion, all these different things, right? That really require me. And I fumbled it because I didn't even know anything. Literally, I didn't know anything. So I established that LLC, fumbled it. Like right when I got that, the world shut down. And so time went on. I created other self employment ventures for myself between then and now. And I kept learning, I just kept studying, and more things started to reveal themselves to me. And again, everything I learn, I implement from what I learn. And I take action at the speed of direction. I learn something, I take action on it and implement it. So, okay, here we are, present day, right? So we're in present day. And now I understand what Tim said back almost almost 10 years ago, right? And I was like, "Oh, I get it." And in between then, I've learned more about holding companies, parent companies, these boxes that he mentioned, DBAs, how to protect uh your assets and your businesses and all these different things. So I was like, "Okay, all right, all right, all right." So I established my legal entity, the holding company, January 2nd, 2026. Okay. And the reason I did it January 2nd is because in California, every LLC, every business owner has to pay an $800 annual franchise tax free fee. So if I would have done it in December 2025, then I would have had to pay um, the franchise tax fee for 2025 um, by March. And then in April, I would have had to pay it again for 2026. So I went ahead and established it in 2026. It was approved January 7, 2026. And so I have officially launched my parent company. Now, the DBA brand is now, let me also explain this. Throughout this time, I also learned about high risk um, brands, high risk entities, and low risk when it comes to funding and how banks and different things look at certain entities. So this is one of the reasons why I established my holding company. So I established my holding company just as general business advisor consult business consults, right? So then this is the parent company of every other brand that I will put under it, including Soft Life Mobile Detailing. So because auto detailing is a very high risk entity, and if I ever decide I want to get funding to grow the entity or bigger equipment or whatever the case may be, banks are going to see it as a very high risk. But because the actual legal entity and holding company is general business, um, uh, business advisory, consults, and different things like that, it's very low risk. So that's why I did that, right? And then I have created an umbrella to put all of my other brands below it, and that will own it. So this is what Tim was saying about creating different boxes. So for example, if um God forbid Soft Life Mobile Detailing gets sued because it's the DBA and it is owned by the parent company, I can just easily get rid of that DBA, and all of the assets are owned by the parent company, which is untouchable. And because all of this is in my EIN and not my SSN, I protected, like my personal belongings and assets are protected. So Soft Life Mobile Detailing, I could say, hey, that no longer exists. And you can't touch the parent company because you weren't, it's just not liable. So this is what I've done. And the reason why I say in the thumbnail, failure doesn't scare me, but giving up does, is because it's just not in me. I am 30 plus years in this grind of figuring out how to go from being self-employed to a business owner. And what scares me is giving up, settling, just saying, oh, I'm just going to work a job and build somebody else's dreams and just let mine go to the wayside. That terrifies me. Failure is simply the cost of success. Falling on your face, unsuccessful attempts, it's the cost of success. And I'd rather pay that cost than to be a feeble old woman that has nothing but regrets for why I didn't try, why I didn't just go with what was in my heart, why I didn't stay true to what I said at 14, which is I'm going to become wealthy just off being me. And I refuse to have them regrets. I don't have any regrets in my life as it stands right here at 51 years of age. I have given my all, and I will continue to give my all to my last breath. Because at the end of the day, I have a vision in my head that has been there since I was a young teenager, and I'm determined to bring that vision into the physical realm. So, implementing everything that I've learned and going back out there, giving it a shot over and over and over again, studying from those who are exactly where I aspire to be, not putting myself around naysayers and those who just feel like the best they can do for themselves is to work a job. And I'm not knocking it. I just know that me being on this path is a very acquired taste, and it requires a certain level of tenacity and resilience and protection, because society will easily encourage you to give up on yourself. And that's just not, I'm just not cut from that cloth, and in my perspective, true failure in the sense of the word is really just not trying at all or giving up when you fall. That's failure. As long as you keep going, keep learning, keep going, keep learning, keep going, keep learning, like that's not failure. That is not failure at all. And all of the successful entrepreneur business owners, even that share their stories publicly, they will tell you time and time again, they have had more unsuccessful attempts than they've had successful attempts. It's just the fact of the matter is their successful attempts far outweigh their unsuccessful attempts. And that's what it's about. So when I established my holding company and then launched Soft Life Mobile Detailing, and here's another thing that I've learned over the decades. So the fact that when I launched this, when I made the decision that I'm going to launch an interior only mobile detailing company, everything just started to fall in line. Everything. It's just like in the book, The Alchemist. The universe is going to show you that it's working with you. But that doesn't mean it's going to continue to be easy all the way through. But this is just to whet your appetite to say, yes, you're on the right path. Do it. Keep going. So everything just fell into place for me acquiring all of my supplies and products and tools and everything, to even me getting my first 3 customers, and then my first quarterly maintenance member. Like everything just fell into place almost instantly. And so that can easily set in one of two things. For those like me who have attempted, and have learned so much and realize, okay, what that is, this is either an opportunity for me to feel like, oh, everything's going to be easy peasy from here on out. And then when it doesn't, like I'm just devastated, or for me to realize, all right, this is just the universe letting me know that it is possible. It is possible. This is giving me that boost, right? But that boost doesn't mean it's just like, so I'm a Gen Xer. Growing up, we would give each other a boost up the fence. But just because I'm giving you a boost up, whether it's on my shoulders or I'm putting my hands, you step in my hands and I'm boosting you up, that doesn't mean you don't need to use your upper body strength to pull yourself up over that fence. I'm just giving you a boost, right? From the ground up a little bit. But if you're just completely reliant on my boost, baby, you're not going to make it, because I can't climb up the fence with you and push your ass over that fence. You still have to use your upper body strength to get yourself over there. And that is what that momentum in the beginning is. That's just that boost to let you know I got you. But you have to use your upper body strength to get yourself up and over, So for me in business, what that means is I have to continue to put my business out there. I have to continue to get out there and let people know, hey, this exists. I have to continue to market and promote. I have to use the images that I have of the 3 customers and put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to continue to add to my Google business page, make sure my website is all put together. All of my back office admin stuff is done. Like all of my sheets, my spreadsheets, everything is prepared and ready to take on customers, maintenance members, like everything. I didn't wait. I front loaded everything. I didn't wait until I have 10 customers or 20 or 50 customers to say, oh, okay, I need to get my books together so that I can keep everything in line. No, everything is in line. Even my tax withholdings, like I front loaded everything because I've made so many mistakes in the past 3 decades. I've learned so much to whereas now doing it right, there's no reason for me to not use everything I've learned over the decades to not have everything set up the way I have it set up. So that when the flood comes in, I'm not like scrambling to know how to keep track of my customers, how to respond when I do get maintenance members, oh shit, I should probably be more professional and have a welcome email sent out to them. Okay, so what does it mean to have founding maintenance members? Oh, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason for me after all these years of trying to get here, just in the beginning stages, there's no reason for me not to have my shit together. That's why I got my shit together. Because that boost, baby, my upper body strength is pulling myself up. And that upper body strength in combination with that boost is keeping my spirits up. Like it's not easy as a solo founder with no external human support. It is not easy at all to have 3 decades of falling on your face and not giving up with no other business owners around you that truly understands the process, the journey. You know what I mean? I'm surrounded by employees who are just satisfied in that lane. And maybe they're not satisfied, but they're terrified to do anything on their own. And I'm telling you, it's either in you or it's on you. And for me, it's in me. It is in me. When I say giving up is the only thing that terrifies me, I couldn't imagine giving up on myself. I just couldn't imagine giving up on that 14-year-old little girl that was like, I will become wealthy, just daydreaming. I will become wealthy just off being me. I can't imagine giving up on the young women that will be in the Franklin Tree, the Transitional Housing and Entrepreneur Center that I have in the Borks. I just can't imagine giving up. I can't imagine giving up on my great grandkids and making sure that they have something. Like I have a granddaughter right now, a 2-year-old granddaughter. So it's real. It's very real for me. And this has been something that I've been striving for since way before she was even born. So giving up, it's that shit is crazy. Failure is simply the cost of success. Falling on your face is the cost of learning how to walk. Simple as that. You know what I mean? And all the years of crawling and now, learning how to stand up and take my little steps. All right. And then when I learn how to walk real good as a business owner, as a true CEO, not just some shit you typing on Instagram, as a real actual CEO of my own company, once I learn how to walk with strong, stable legs, then I'll learn how to run. But I got to know how to be stable on my legs and walk before I can run. You know what I mean? They're all just prerequisites. Falling on your face, what society calls failure, it is simply the cost of success. Plain and simple. And I have always been willing to do what most people are not willing to do so that I can ultimately have what most people do not have. And that is a legacy that is not struggling. That's a legacy that doesn't have to work outside of the family. That is a legacy that isn't free to breathe, and take full inhales and exhales and figure out their life. And that is what I want for my great grandkids. I want them to be able to breathe easily. So that means I already have my timeline of when I'm going to establish the trust, when I'm going to establish the cash value life insurance policies, when I'm going to establish my real estate within the next 3 years, when I'm going to establish the Franklin Tree, when I'm going to then establish the family foundation, when I'm going to put all of these things into a trust, when I'm going to make that trust an irrevocable trust. Like, this is all in my timeline. This is all in my timeline. Like, I've been learning so much on how, we especially on social media and in the Black community, we're throwing around generational wealth, generational wealth. What does that truly look like? And how do you truly set it up? There's legalities to it. Buy, borrow, die. I got that in my time, you know, because at the end of the day, being born in America, being born and living in a corporation, doing business as a country, I don't think there's a better place to be because success leaves clues and everything has already been established. I'm not establishing anything new. I'm following the trust that Rockefeller laid out so that we don't, everything that I establish doesn't end up like the Vanderbilts. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of putting in the effort. It's just a matter of putting in the effort to create something. Again, going back to my young teenage years when I said, I'm going to create something that will live at least 100 years after I'm gone. Like that's why I said it's in me. It's not on me. It's in me. It's in me. And giving up on me, it's not something that I've ever thought about. That's just not in me. Giving up on me is just not in me, you know. So I'm very proud of where I'm at right now. And I'm proud of having finally figured out what Tim meant when he said, you got to establish more than one entity. You can't just establish one entity. You cannot do that. You have to protect that entity, you know, and then you have to protect everything up under it. And so I'm just so happy to have figured that out because I'm telling you, even just this point. Now I'm at the very beginning, like I just said. I'm not on here um, giving advice or trying to be somewhere I'm not. I'm just sharing all the shit that I've learned, man, and all the shit that I've implemented. And I can say that it feels different having my holding company established and then having the first DBA under that. It feels different. It feels way different. And it feels different to have clarity on what my business is, on having an actual business. And I mean, I'm telling you, like having little shit, right? Like having my business bank account, having my business phone separate from my personal phone. I'm actually recording this on my company phone because it's a better phone, but having that. And let me just say this also. So when I went to Verizon and set up my business account, and he was like, well, why did you legalize the business before you started working, you know, before you built up uh, customers? I said, because how I want it set up and the customers that I'm going to be serving, I wanted to make sure I had a legal entity. And this is something that, you know, he looked so baffled because especially, I won't say especially, but I know for sure here in Cali, in LA, I'm in Orange County, but in LA, there are some young detailers who I see them on YouTube. They work their business just building customers for like a year or so and then wouldn't legalize their business. Well, the way I set up this, like for one, it's not about volume. I'm not just detailing anybody with a car. I've created a specific concierge style service and I'm going for a specific clientele base. And I didn't want to give myself any sort of out, any sort of back door to say, okay, well, da 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 da. Because once again, I have decades of buying myself a job. I didn't want to do that anymore. To me, just working something, that hustle culture, all not having an established entity, you just out there grinding. To me, that's, you got a back door, you got a fucking side door, you got this window wide open, you got so many exits that you can just easily say, okay, this ain't working. No, I didn't. No, I'm done with that. I figured I've learned enough to now trap myself into, you're going to do this shit right. You're going to do it, and you've learned enough to know that uh how it's done. So I established my entity. I established my legal entity, and come April 15th, baby, I got that $800 franchise tax fee that I need to pay. That scares me and excites me all at the same time. All at the same time. Because, baby, the state of California knows that I have a legal entity. And when I send my customers the booking check in form, when I send them the client service agreement under with my holding company logo attached to it, saying you are entering into this agreement with Macalo Enterprises LLC, doing business as Soft Life Mobile Detailing, baby, that feels good to me. That feels damn good to me. When they do the tap to pay and all the receipt and information is under the legal entity, baby, I don't have a back door. I don't have a back door. I didn't give myself an out. I wasn't trying to make it easy for me to say, okay, well, this ain't work. Well, let me. Hell no. Hell no. It's going to work because I'm working it. It's going to work because I finally cut off all escape routes. There are no escape routes. I either win or I win big. That's it. That's it. I either win or I win big. And me, I'm going to win big. That's just all it is to it. Hey, Cheryl, what's up, sis? I'm always amazed by what you create and do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And this I've created legally. I've created legally. This is not hustle energy. This is not under the table energy. This is not side hustle energy. This is a legal business. A legal business. And that excites the hell out of me. Like I said, I've spent hours upon hours upon hours getting together all my back office, all of my spreadsheets, being able to just establish all of the important, like the mechanics of a business. You know what I mean? All of the mechanics, all of the internal workings, like a watch, right? You know, there's some watch brands. It's this one, what is it, Philippe something? I don't know. But it's this one watch. They're very it's um really artisan, but you see all the workings of the watch, right? And then you have some that it's all covered. You know, you see the beautiful face, and but you don't see what's making this watch do what it does as a watch. But all that stuff that makes it do what it does as a watch, that's behind the faceplate, that's that's the stuff right there. And it's the same thing with a company. All of the back office that supports the the facade, the face of the company, like that shit is the most important. Because if that's not set up, if that collapses, then the company's going to collapse, like the foundation of a house, you know? So I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours over the course of weeks getting all of that established, because I already have the vision of where I see this brand. I already have the vision of the teams. That's why I have my uniform. I got my uniform already. I already know how I'm going to dish out the uniform to the team as I start building the teams. I have all of my back office set up to handle all of the customers. Okay. All of the customers. I don't have to figure it out as I grow. It's already prepared to handle growth. It's already prepared to handle growth because I didn't I haven't fallen on my face all them goddamn times just to get here and still be trying to figure the shit out. I'm at a different level of figuring something out now. Now I got to figure out how to actually grow a real business because now I have a real business. This isn't a side hustle. This isn't about just making money. No, this isn't about just making money. This is about growing an actual company where I have my timeline of how I'm going to replace myself and when I'm going to replace myself so that I can continue to grow the company. Like I can't grow it as long as I got to actively work in it. This is a real business right here. So at some point, I need to be able to step away so that I can continue to run this business. And then now I have another DBA that I have to get up and running while this one's doing its thing. I got the people in place already, and that one's doing its thing. And now I also got to get my real estate launched, so it's just like it's totally not the same as just a hustle company. Well, all of that, there is no soul, guts to the company. Exactly. It doesn't really exist. Exactly. Not just on name, but paper too. Exactly. Exactly. And this is why I chose to not create a back door in this house because goddamn me. Yeah, we're building this on a strong foundation. We're building a strong foundation. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. And a good kind of scared at the same time, not scared of failing. Um, and I don't even think scared is the word. Scared isn't the word because I already see the success of the company. I think it's just all excitement, but excitement comes with some nervous. That's what it is. Nervous. Nervous because, I don't want to mess it up. And I don't know, I'm just excited. That's really the only word I have. I'm just excited and I'm proud of myself. I'm very, very, very proud of myself. Extremely proud of myself because baby, all these decades of just being just it's just me and just my belief in me and my belief in God in me, like that's the only thing because uh one thing I don't do is plant negative seeds in my garden. And if anybody's been following my social media, I don't plant negative seeds in my garden. I don't even allow other people to plant negative seeds in my garden. I don't. I will cut somebody off mid word when they start talking, I don't, I just don't. That's just not how I live. That's just not how. I mean, when my kids were teenagers, my daughter come telling me a story, a drama-filled story about her uh, paternal side of the family, some drama, and I cut her off. Miss, I said, Punky, I don't like hearing about drama. I don't want to hear that. My own kid, I don't give a damn about your paternal family or your friends' drama. I don't like drama. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care who it is. I will cut you off right in the middle of a word. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Don't plant these seeds in my garden. I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear about ICE. I don't want to hear about the kid that was kidnapped. I don't need to hear about none of it. Scripture say, God say, I planted evil. I created evil for the day of evil. Look, everything is meant to be. So I'm focused on what I can focus on, right? And if I know that I came here, if I, as a sperm cell, fertilize my mother's egg so that I can come here and shine my light and leave my goodness in the world, why the fuck am I gonna dim my light to hear about the shit in the world that has nothing to do with me. I don't. I won't. It has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if God said I created evil for the day of evil, what the fuck you want me to do? God created me to create. So I'm going to create. And I'm not going to create drama. And I don't plant negative seeds in other people's garden. I don't call people to talk about gloom and doom. I do not do that. I don't post gloom and doom on my social media pages. I don't do that. I don't share bad news on my social media pages. I'm not going to have you come across my page and now you thinking about the motherfucking hurricane that just happened that just killed 1,000 people. I don't even know about the hurricane that happened that just killed 1,000 people. So I don't even have the information to share it with you. So I don't allow people to plant negative seeds in my garden because I don't plant negative seeds in my garden. I speak life into my plants that live in my van with me. I speak life into other people because I speak life into me. Period. You know? Period. I'm not a doom and gloom type person. That is not my personality from childhood. That's just not who I am. So, like I said, I'm either winning, which I am, or I'm winning exceptionally, which I will be. You know? And I don't care how many times I've fallen on my face, I still view myself as a winner because I get back up and I get back up on a higher level from where I fell from because I'm getting back up from experience. Because I always look at me. I always look at what I could have done differently, what I will do differently next time, how I fell, what did I do to fall, what didn't I do, how did I not, it's always because I'm the only one that I can control. I can only control what I say. I can only control how I replace a negative thought that comes into my head with a positive one. That's all I can control. I can only control my actions. So since that's where my power is, that's all I give a fuck about. I only give a fuck about where my power is. My power ain't in what you do, what you said, what you're going to do. Jimmy crack corn. You know what I mean? Because that goddamn pork bacon sandwich that you just ate, it's not going to make me sick or shit. So I don't care. I genuinely don't care. That toxic relationship that you in, that you know you need to get out of, that you're going to stay in, look, it's not affecting me. I genuinely don't care. I genuinely don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't. If somebody asks me for my suggestion or advice on anything, I'm going to share with you, but it's going to be from the angle, and this is the shit I say, it's going to be from the angle, if it were me, I can't tell you what to do, but if it were me in that situation, if it were me, this is what I would do. This is what I would do if that was my van, like the woman that I did some work on her van, and she was asking me, I said, well, if this was my van, I, Shalonda Elise, would do this if it were my van. That's the only way I can answer your question. What you should do, I don't know. I have no idea what you should do. But if it were me, this is what I would do. Because this is what I like. And this is how I like it. But what you should do, I don't fucking know what you should do. I don't know what you should have in your... How the fuck do I know? You're you and I me. But here's how I can answer your question. Do with that information whatever the fuck you can and will. But this is the only way I know how to answer you. And that's exactly, like, that's my real life. If somebody come and ask me, well, me and my man, if it were me, Matter of fact, a guy at the library. We just started talking. He's older than me. He wanted to look over something about a job or something, and he was looking and didn't quite understand it. And he was like, well, what do you think? Once again, I said, well, if it were me, if this was me, this is what I would do. I have no idea, I don't know what you should do, but just looking at this, reading this, if it were me, is what I would do. Is how I would handle it. What you should do, I have no idea. I'm a 51-year-old black woman. You're a 61-year-old white man. How the fuck can I answer you on what you should do? I don't know, baby. But looking at this and reading this and the information you just shared with me and what I'm reading, I can only tell you what Shalonda Elise would do if this was my situation. That's it. And that's how I get down. That is one of the things I've learned from you. I used to be so wrapped up in the news cycles. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me directly, so I no longer spend my time watching it. Good for you, Cheryl. Great at sharing info and not gatekeeping or judging. Good for you, Cheryl. Good for you, because why ruin your day and have shit on your mind all day that you can't do nothing about? Like, seriously. But what you can do something about, I feel like that's where people need to really take the reins and take the control over. Like, for me, that's powerful. That's powerful. And I had to remind my daughter of that when she come calling me a control freak. My control is only with me. And one thing I'll say about my kids that I know, especially my daughter, she's the oldest. But I know they just didn't like the fact that I constantly reminded them that their life is their life, and um their ages, it's going up, not down. And the fact of the matter is, no, I have no desire to control you or what you do. I am only here to guide and to share with you what I've learned and my wisdom. And I've made all the mistakes. Like I told them as teenagers, I've made all the mistakes so you don't have to. But hey, you're determined to. So why why would I stop you from learning from the best teacher on the planet, which is life? Life is the best teacher, baby. I'm a great teacher. I know that I'm a great teacher. I know that I'm a great leader. But baby, I'm not better than life. There's no goddamn way, because that's who I learned from. That's exactly who I learned from. So, if you determine to that, let me get out of your way. And if you still don't learn, it I don't even have a comment. I don't even have anything to say about it or to do with it. But that's just that. So yeah, I'm very proud of me. I'm proud of my growth, and I'm proud of establishing a legal entity and working it, and having customers and having it all set up to where I can guide my customers through the process of how I've set up the business to be. They get the concierge experience that I've set up for it to be. And it's really how I set up everything. If you've been around, you've heard me say, I'm a servant of humanity. I'm here to serve. I'm here to empty myself. I'm here to give all that I have to give. And so I've established a concierge service that is posing as a mobile detailing business, and I spoke about this in one of my podcast episodes. My auntie loved me so thoroughly and so genuinely and authentically and taught me how to love myself that that's the only way I know how to love. That is the only way I know how to love. Love is an action, it's a verb. And that's the only way I know how to love is genuinely, honestly. And that's the only way I know how to give is 1000%. And I only know how to do things thoroughly. And when it comes to clean, whether I have my cleaning business or with auto detailing, there's no middle ground. It's either clean or it's not. Plain and simple. You're either pregnant or you're not. And that's how I view clean. It's either clean or it's not. So I love doing things, even when it comes to the freight, that is going to raise people's expectations. Period. This is going to raise your expectations. This is going to raise your own standards from yourself to even what you give. Like how I have the training structure set up for when I start to bring on team members. It's meant to raise their standards of themselves, to raise their level of integrity for themselves. That's just what it is. It's not about, for me, it's not even about how people perceive it. I've had people speak about it in like an annoying negative way. When I was a hairstylist, before I went off on my own, when I was shortly out of cosmetology school, and this I was working at Fantastic Sam's, and I was taught to give a very thorough consultation. And again, like I ended up specializing in curly hair, and I did my own cuts. I took advanced courses that you got to pay for out of pocket. Like once you're a professional and you're out of school, all the advanced color classes I took, cutting classes I took, all that shit you got to pay for out of pocket, right? To level up your skills. Now I'm giving this chick a thorough consultation before I take these shears to your head. She ended up leaving up out of my chair. I know it's Fantastic Sam's. I don't care, bitch. You're in my chair. This is Fantastic Sam's. I'm Shalonda Elise. I do shit on a certain level. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I do shit on a certain level. She got up out of my chair, baby, and as she walked out of the door, a guy was coming in. And she was like, if you're getting with her, what did she say? Be prepared for a thorough consultation or something. And it was a white woman. Baby, she stormed out of my chair, upset, annoyed. I just want to bang trim. So then the guy comes in and he sits down. He was just getting a neck trim, just a lineup. He was just getting a lineup. Fantastic Sam didn't charge for a lineup. They'll do just a simple lineup, simple neck trim on guys. It was free. Once again, I'm not bothered by this woman. Sit down, do the same thing. Gave him his neck trim. Baby, that free neck trim, he tipped me $10, and he used the same words that she did. He was like, I've never had such a thorough consultation. I've never had anybody be so precise. And he appreciated it. Where she was annoyed by it, the bitch probably kept a nasty motherfucking household too. But I don't know. I'm just saying. Where she was annoyed by it, he appreciated it and tipped me $10 on a free service. So that's the thing about it. I'm not concerned about how people perceive it. Because at the end of the day, one thing that I acknowledged and recognized as a teenager, I'm the one representing me. I'm representing me to the world. So when my mom would wake me up at 9 o'clock, uh, uh, not wake me up, I would already be awake. But when she would ask me at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to go to the corner store, and the next thing she knows, she hearing bathwater running. And then 2 hours later, 11 o'clock, I'm on my way out the door to go to the corner store. She got to the point to where she had no choice but to accept that, because I'm not just about to go out the house looking any kind of way. I said, Mom, ain't no telling who I'm going to see. Like, this is my neighborhood. I don't care that the store is just on the corner, literally around the corner. I don't care. You're asking me to leave my private space and go out in public. So that means I got to fully get dressed. I got to do my hair. I got to get dressed. I got to put on clothes that I'm going to put on because you want me to go to the corner store. And she would just giggle and she would leave it at that, because you can't get all of the Anheuser-Busch Clydesdale to drag me out this house without getting dressed. I represent me when I go out there. I represent me as the owner of my company. I represent me to the customers that I bring in. So after I detail their car and they're like, wow, okay, because I've done more than just a quick surface level wipe down. And because I do interior only, and the interior, like, this is where people live. This is where their kids are. This is where motherfuckers sneeze and cough and fart and spit and vomit and get sick and all this. Yes, the exterior is the pretty. It's the pretty. You know, it gives the pretty visuals, da. But the real work and elbow grease is in the interior of the vehicle. And the interior takes a lot longer than the exterior wash. So this is what I've created, because I don't like to cut corners. And another reason why I like to establish my own thing is because I don't like to cut corners. I have something to offer and present to the world, and it's my duty to present it and offer it to the world. And another vow I made to myself as a young teenager is I want to be a great employer and a great leader. And I want to be able to pay people livable wages. I want to be able to help people grow into their life. I want to be able to help people, even if they want to establish their own business, like with my team members. Like, I just don't want you to, I don't want you to just work for me and not have a dream, not have a vision. I just don't want that, because we all have something to offer. And I feel like the world would absolutely be a great place if we all offered what we have to offer. I don't agree with the fact that, well, who's going to be the employees? The kids. The kids. That's who. And at the end of the day, everybody is a consumer. But if your family owns this type of business, and my family owns this type of business, and that family, and every family on the block owns a business, I mean, what do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? The kids work, the adults work in the family business, and we all are, because at the end of the day, we're still consumers. You still need to go to the merchant. You still need to go to the grocer. You still need to, there's always going to be people that got to go to the laundromat. There's always going to be people that die and are born. There's always going to be people that got to go to the dentist, the doctor, the this, that, and the third. And then here it is, 2026, but the world still looks like 1986. Why? Because we refuse to be creative and advance and use technology to make shit more efficient and more updated. Because we all just want to, not we all, but too many people want to be lazy and not put in the effort and the grind and pick themselves back up. Like, I'm telling you, I've fallen thousands of times. but I've gotten back up one more time than the thousands that I've fallen. And as a Gen Xer, I've fallen in public, baby, before social media. And now, because I'm used to living my life so openly, shit, I've fallen on social media for hundreds of thousands of people to see. And I still get my ass right back up and go right back at it again. Because the most embarrassing thing to me is not fucking trying. The most embarrassing thing to me is sitting up complaining about going to work at a goddamn job that I hate and talking shit about the owner of the company that I'll never fucking meet. I mean, that's audacity. That's audacity right there. I'm talking shit about how the owner of the company making millions and I'm paying me motherfucking pennies. Who the fuck held you to gunpoint to go to that job? Who the fuck said they're going to murder your firstborn if you don't go work for these motherfuckers? I mean, let me know. What am I missing? What am I missing? Because that's another conversation I've shut down for motherfuckers. While I was a W-2 employee, I'm not about to sit up here and talk to you about the owner of the motherfucking company. Because what you don't know is I'm striving to be the owner of my own company. So I'm not about to talk shit about the wealthy because I'm striving to be the wealthy. And because I study from the wealthy people, I know how motherfucking generous they are. I'm striving to create my own family foundation, goddamn me, so that I can donate lump sums of multi-millions of dollars back into my fucking foundation to lower my taxes. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning about all this shit so that they're not taking millions of dollars in estate taxes from me. I'm learning how to protect all the shit that I'm striving to build so it don't go to the motherfucking government. The fuck? I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that at all because this is the United States of America and they set the shit up like that legally so that we Americans can all benefit. Like, what the fuck? If you want to be a dependent on that's like your kids at dependent ages living in your house where you pay all the goddamn bills and they talking shit. They talking shit about the decisions you make. Well, go out there and do it on your motherfucking own then if you don't like how I run my house. If you don't like how I run this shit in here, go out there and run your own shit. But then they don't. They go out and they move in with another motherfucker that got more rules, but then they're okay with their rules. You will go move in with another motherfucker that's not your mom, that's not your dad, and you will abide by the rules that they have that's more strict than mine because it's another motherfucker. And then you sitting up there getting treated like shit in another motherfucker's house. The fuck? And I'm supposed to be a part of that crowd? No, baby, no. No. I'm going to be solo dolo because I don't want to hear that shit because I don't agree with that. So I'm striving to be that company owner. But I'm striving to be the company owner that takes care of the people that work for me. And you know, can't please every motherfucking body. You can't please everybody, and I don't expect to, nor am I trying to. I'm trying to please me, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that even future legacies within my lineage aren't gonna like maybe something that's in the trust that I have set up, or aren't gonna like the fact that, you know, who I chose to, whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't care. All I know is I'm striving to not leave a legacy of poverty. I'm striving for my kids to not have to goddamn be distraught when I die because how in the fuck they gonna pay for my funeral. I'm striving for my granddaughter, who is the only one that's alive right now. She's the only grandkid I have. I'm striving for her not to have to worry about how the fuck she gonna bury her mama. That's what I'm striving for right now. Period. Period. And to not go from shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Period. I look at Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, and I love the fact that it took a team of lawyers 7 years to get it to where IKEA will never be outside of the family. To me, that's dope. That's dope as fuck. Because what is it? Gucci, 3 generations, it was no longer owned by the family. Shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Gucci, the founder, founded Gucci. The son had it, did a little bit with it. The grandson had it, did a little bit with it. After that, it's owned, I think Gucci is owned, is it LVMH? It's some other company. So it was only in the family for 3 generations. The Vanderbilts, they were right up there with the Rockefellers. They had high consumption lifestyles. Every generation had a high consumption lifestyle. Gloria Vanderbilt, I used to wear her jeans when I was a little bitty girl still living in St. Louis. That's Anderson Cooper's mom. Anderson Cooper barely got $1 million. The Vanderbilts, they had to sell off all the motherfucking mansions and all that shit because every generation had a high consumption lifestyle. They didn't establish any sort of trust. They didn't establish anything like the Rockefellers did to make sure this shit stay in the family 100 years later. You know, what the fuck is the point in doing it all? So, you know, that's my point. So that's it, y'all. That's really all I wanted. I just, you know, so if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Follow along with my journey as I build Soft Life Mobile Detailing from right here in my van. All of my stuff is right in my front seat. And yeah, so just follow along with the journey. I'm sharing, I'm posting shorts and different things. I'm going to give a shout out to my cousin, one of my paternal cousins. Y'all, she bought me a harness. I have a harness on my Amazon wish list so that I can put my phone in it so that I can record my detailing when I'm doing it. So shout out to my cousin Mal. I love you so much. Thank you so much for that. So definitely all of my detailing videos will be recorded. I'll be able to record myself actually detailing and working, and I'm so geeked about that. Make sure y'all subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this live with me. Cheryl, I love you too, sister. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just following along with my journey. I don't have a wish list posted. I don't. But I do have a wish list, my Amazon wish list. But I don't have it posted. I'll send it to you if you want. Actually, because there is I have a microphone, a lavalier microphone. Speaking of microphone, I bought a fucking microphone, I think in 2024. You know what? I got that microphone from the gift card you gave me when I got my ring light and the thing and the thing and the thing and the stuff so I can make more video. I got a Boya lavalier microphone. It didn't connect to any of my phones. This company phone, it's a Samsung Galaxy 25 FE. It doesn't even connect to this phone. I'm so pissed. And so then I was looking at it on Amazon. The motherfucker has poor ratings and then has a high return. I was like, how did I not see this when I got it? How did I not see this? So I got this useless ass anyway. Anyway, the one I have on my wish list now, it's got great ratings. But anyway, I think the sound on my phone itself is pretty good. But anyway, so yes, definitely subscribe to the channel, follow along. I will continue to post um shorts and as I build my customers. And if you're in California, if you're in the Southern California, right, 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 right. And they probably found out sooner because when I got it, and then I had to go self-surrender, and then I was in federal custody for 7 months, and then so it's been 2 years. So I'm way outside of the 30-day time frame to return. But you show right. They probably found out like I did. It's pure garbage. So, but yeah. And I just made yesterday made 7 full months that I have been released out of federal custody. But it's I got 2 years probation and all like that. And I'm just, again, I'm very proud of myself because I'm still working on everything. Like I still got to get everything. I still got to get my tags. Still got to, but I'm proud of where I'm at. I'm proud of the fact that I'm not like just hustling under the table. So, and I've let the probation officer know everything. So yes, I'm very proud of how I've hit the ground running from the time I got out. And I did have to pivot. Host mode events isn't just thrown away, but it is a lot more capital heavy than I thought it was going to be. So that will be the next DBA that I establish once I got good revenue coming. So my timeline for that is about 2 years. So I have a savings account going for my FHA fund because that I have a goal for Q1 2028 to do that, go into real estate. And with the FHA, I do understand I will have to live in the property in one of the units for at least a year. So again, I've strived to learn and implement too much over these decades to continue to do shit how I was doing it when I was learning. I feel like I know more now. And also seeking out mentorship now. And yeah, I'm very proud of myself. And you right, Cheryl, look at God. Look at God. Because when you believe in God in you and you don't curse your journey, and you've heard me say many times, it's the journey for me. I love my journey because it has taught me so much, because I always look at me like I fucks with me the long way. That's another one of my regular sayings. I fucks with me the long way, and I always will. And so I recognize that um, I and God are one, and God is greater than I. So, uh, God has carried me through a lot, and we got a long way to go, baby. So, yeah, stay tuned. Yes, all the entrepreneurs I know say it is, and it's a beautiful one because it puts more into you than it takes out. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. And also, before I go, because I don't know who's on here, but let me just shout out once again. You can check the links in my YouTube bio because I do have 2 journals on Amazon. So I have a 6-month daily gratitude journal, a 6-month daily gratitude journal that I still write in mine. I absolutely love it. And then I have a journal of enormous ideas. It's titled My Journal of Enormous Ideas. Both of those links are in the bio. Check those out. That's a way that you can support the channel, support my growth, and just my offerings to the journals are awesome. Cheryl has bought my journals, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I really do like them. Like, I write in my own journals, both of them. And so You know, they say don't get high if you're on supply, but I created them because I'm a writer and a journal type person. So I just wanted something that I would love to use and that I thought other people might love to use. So check them out also. And yeah. Thanks y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna get up out of here and I'll see y'all in the comments. Peace.